So we're getting a new lockbox. It is claimed to be releasing on June the 13th. However, they seem to have made a change of plans. It is here in the Wondrous Bazaar, and we can go and obtain all of the new rewards, including the new companion and mount. We can inspect the box and you can see everything here. So the rest is normal, but what's new is this companion. Looks pretty cool. You can get a vanity pet which also looks like him. He's going to give enduring senses, which is new. It's going to give up to 5% combat advantage just reliably. And then Flump's inspiration with 7.5% stamina regen. We also don't have anything like it, but I will say this is kind of a bit small amount of stamina regen for what you'd be giving up with regards to stats. Tanks already struggle to get all their good defensive stats maxed out, so throwing this in top is not that great, but at least it's useful if you don't have all the best ones. And then stats and powers, he should be able to grant us crew support with combat advantage, and it should stack with other combat advantage bonusing companions. And then he has a bunch of damage abilities which we'll also need to check out. But then there's the new mount as well, with otherworldly adaptability, which gives you actually bonus stats more than any other equip power. And that is just incoming healing, outgoing healing, and forte. So it's not like everybody can make the most of those stats. So it's alright, I guess. And then the combat power should be like a vortex, pulling in enemies, damaging them, and dazing them. And then the stats is a 4-slot insignia mount, and we'll check out exactly what it's giving us. But let's go get these opened and see how many we need to open in order to get all of those rewards. So you can see all of the drop rates there on the tooltip, and we'll begin by opening them. It has the usual guaranteed rewards after certain milestones. So you get to like 5 and you get the bonus trade bars. You can also just click open 10. It will not affect your drop rates or anything. You can see all what we're getting there. We get to like that 25 and we get the bonus 50 companion tokens. You can proceed on to get to the 50. And we can see then we get the chance at a bonus companion. And here we just obtain, a Priestess of Soon, and we can continue to get the 1,000 trade bars. We already did actually obtain Flapjack. We also got a legendary mount, so now we have the companion. That's a start. We got lucky there, and then we get to the 75. We get the bonus 1,000 trade bars. We continue, get to the 100, and that just gives us the 50 mount tokens. And then when we get to 125, we have a chance to say get the mythic mount, but otherwise you'll just get a bonus mount of whatever random quality. We still haven't obtained the mythic mount yet, but as per the drop rates, it is only a 1 in 250 chance to obtain it. We did get a bonus armored bear there. We can get then a bonus 2,000 trade bars by getting to 150 opened. So what I generally recommend with these lockboxes is you just stick to one of them till you have like 250 opened and then move to the next one. It can be your decision. Do you want to go for this one? Are you currently working on one? And if that's the case, just see how much progress you have on your current one and decide, are the rewards better than what you get here? And ultimately I would suggest just stick to it, because once you get to the 250, you're guaranteed to obtain a choice pack with the top rewards. And as per 1 in 250 drop rate chance, you're very likely to also obtain both the companion and mount, or artifact and mount. However, we currently only obtained the companion. The main takeaway from lockboxes is the value that they give in trade bars. That is what I usually recommend you focus on as your rewards from here. Other than that, yes, you do have the milestone rewards and a chance to obtain a better reward as you do open them, but you can just be unlucky most of the time and only obtain some insignias and refinement points. But you're always obtaining trade bars, which we obtained 11,000 this time, which is about right. And we got the mythic companion. We did not get the mythic mount, but we can obtain it via the choice pack. So let's go ahead and do so. Just choose that right there. So now we have both of them. Let's go ahead and equip the mount and equip the companion. Both are mythic and account wide, meaning you can get them on all of your alts. So first of all, the Space Gubby school mount. What does it look like? Let's go and mount up right here. That's the animation, and you're surrounded by those fish. And I guess you are also swimming somewhat. Your feet will move as if you're paddling in the water, and then when you move around, you kind of swim like this. But only when you press W, when you spam W, will you actually do any swim animation. Otherwise, you are just floating like such, kicking your legs a little bit. And you can jump like so. It is pretty neat, I guess. It's pretty smooth too. And if you want to use the spacebar animation, then that's just a little dance. Okay, but in terms of the powers it's giving you, again, this combat power right here, which should group up enemies. We summon these dummies. Let's cast it on, say, this middle one here. We can see what effect it has. Yeah, it pulls them all together, and then you'll be able to damage them much more easily with, say, area effect powers. Very, very useful. The direct upgrade from, say, the legendary flying carpet. If you have the carpet already, you can kind of just pass on this mount, as it won't really do anything much different. It does, though, have the daze effect, 4.5 seconds, which is added, which just means enemies cannot attack you. Then the otherworldly adaptability, pretty good for healers, to be honest, with the outgoing healing and forte, and they'll be able to heal themselves a bit better with the incoming healing. We can then check out the mount in the stable here. So it requires you to have a regal and a barbed. And then as preferred, you could have a regal to gain the bonus 20% item level. And then if you want to actually get an insignia bonus with that preferred, the only option is Warlord's Motivation or your Shepherd's Devotion. So not a lot of options there, but Warlord's pretty decent for damage dealers to increase the damage of their companion, and having it as preferred means you gain extra item level with it. But as for the rest of the bonuses, you can see them here. You can get Enchanter's Hex, Protector's Covenant, Lionheart's Preservance, Accursed Resolve, Knight's Condemnation, and also Protector's Camaraderie. So some useful bonuses there, but definitely not a mount that I would say is a must-have. There are other mounts you may already have that have all of these bonuses too. Be linked in the video description below my mount document, where you can check out all the mounts which have all the different types of bonuses that do have 4 slots in the stable as well, like this one. Overall, a pretty cool mount. I definitely like the fact they added some new animations to it. It's definitely something different than we've ever seen before. You actually have some swim animation there, breaststroke, and then, yeah, you're just swimming around like this. You jump as if you're diving a bit, and then you even have a funny dance as a spacebar animation when you stand still and jump. But now let's check out the companion. We have Flapjack, the Captain Flumph. So with his stats and abilities, you can see all of that there again, and the interesting one is crew support. Otherwise, he can call in some damage attacks from, say, the Moon Dancer, some orbital strikes. Otherwise, he has the bonus of simply just 7.5% stamina regen. We can check if that works. So our stamina regen is currently 21%. We switch this out to something else of the same item level, and we can see our stamina regen is down to 13%. So it does work. It's just rounding up to the 21%. Yeah, I assume it just doesn't show the other decimal places. As summoned, he's definitely bigger than the Vanity Pet. He's there beside us. You can see how he looks like. So just the Flumph companion, but with a hat, pretty much. He is an NPC though. You see him in the Moon Dancer, a narrator in the new dungeon as well. But let's get his damage checked. Oh, and wait. Does he give us a buff here? He does. Crew support in long duration buffs. That's also very nice. So our combat advantage, 49.9. If we summon another mythic companion, just this random one, we can see that's now at 44.9, meaning yes, this companion does indeed give us that 5%. And it's regardless of who else we have in the team. It's not like Tutor, where you have to have a full party in order to gain the buff. You just simply gain it right there. And his range on that is a full 80 feet, which is very generous as well. And it's to all allies, so it'll even buff up other people's companions, supposedly. But again, you don't even have to be in a party with people for them to gain that bonus. So here we are in combat. Let's check his damage in single target. So he just put down a rain of arrows, another rain of arrows, probably his basic attack. It is indeed 3-second cooldown, and it just deals a little bit of damage per attack. He should have a fireball he can call in, which is Loose the Bastille. Maybe it's not a fireball though. A Bastille shoots arrows. That has a 15-second cooldown. There we go. Yeah, it was just one arrow that shot at him. I guess a big thicker one. We can see him in the log here. And yeah, those are his 2 attacks there. Definitely a benefit that he is ranged. And it is also area of effect, those attacks. Both of them claiming they can deal damage to nearby enemies. And checking the developer blog on this, and we have a look at the companion's powers, we can see some more details. So suppressive fire should be a 15-foot radius around the target, and Loose the Bastilla should also be 15 feet around the target. Checking his DPS, it seems alright. I guess he's probably going to be decent hybrid companion. He's a mix of single target and multi. We will check out his damage against a group of enemies. Now let's let this play through for a little bit. So ultimately, we find his DPS to be about 32,500. This again in single target against one enemy. This means he ends up then ranked 49th. But again, he's a support companion and he's multi-target. So single target, not exactly where he's going to be shining. Let's have a look at him then in multi-target. With a 15-foot radius, he could potentially hit the entire group. Position him over here like I do normally. Go here, let the guy attack me, and then he'll begin shooting his arrows. Okay, so he can only hit 4 of them at a time. That's it. That's a little bit unfortunate. If he had a little bit more range, he could hit the entire group. This is going to definitely hurt his DPS, where we will rank him in multi-target on this list here. We can see Regis right there. He will be getting a bit of a nerf, so he'll probably lose a bit of damage there, particularly with his radius not so big, and also his damage output should be slightly reduced. He might not be able to hit this entire group, which will definitely reduce his results. So we can see right there, he's attacking the final guy who's remaining, which has a bit of hit points to get through. And this is where his single target damage will shine. Now this test is what I do for multi-target. You do ideally want to look at just different content for multi-target specifically, because in some fights, depending on how the enemies are spread out, depending on how they spawn in, it can result in one companion doing slightly better than another, and how well you can group them up and things like that. But this is just a rough multi-target test, and ultimately for this companion we got a DPS result of 28,000. He does not move for combat advantage, so that's on a 0. And we can see he will rank there at 6th position with his multi-target damage. So he's a decent hybrid companion. I wouldn't use him as the best multi-target. I wouldn't use him as the best single target. But if you want somebody who's going to do a decent mix of both, he's okay. He's also a support and comes straight on Mythic already, account wide for all your characters. That support effect, the 5% combat advantage, is pretty powerful, and he will definitely be added to this party companions list where you can support your team pretty much in line with Tutor, even a bit better than Tutor, because he's going to work outside of a party as well, and his radius is 80 feet, unlike Tutor, which I believe still has that radius of 50 feet on his class and session. Ultimately, Very good companion, at least for the support. And the mount is pretty cool. It's got its uses. It's very good with its combat power here for grouping up enemies, exactly like we had with the legendary carpet with its vortex. One thing to note though is the maximum of 8 targets. I need to see if the carpet has the same maximum. It may very well, or the carpet's maximum could be 15 and this is 8, making the carpet just better. Ultimately, fairly happy with this lockbox. It has a few things going for it. At least the mount and companion are useful in their own way. It is a little bit weird to have my character just floating like that without any water around me. But once again, massive thank you to all these channel members for your added support. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.